Hello, everybody, and stand by. I'm about to bring in a very special guest. Mara's not there. Stay there, Mara. What's going on here? Hang on. There's Mara. Now I got to get back in. Ah, jeepers. Jane. Solo on, solo off. Hang on, you're there. Now I got to go me. But now we got three. Oh, that's that one. I got to hide that one. Okay, we're in. Hello. Good to see you, Mara.
Good to see you as
And
well.
as you can see, I used to be able to sort of press the record button on a video tape player, long time ago. But anyway, we're here. So first of all, where are you right now?
I'm currently on my boat in St. Martin, just chilling out here, getting my boat ready to sail back across the Atlantic again.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's all good. This is all a bit of a light sort of go through. We'll talk about your background and, where you came from, how you ended up entering the Golden Globe, and some of the things you've been doing, which are pretty amazing. And we'll have a bit of fun with a few bits and pieces later on towards the end. So it's very, it's a chance to get behind the woman that you are, as well as your GGR story. So let's just go right back to the beginning. Pressure's not on or anything. We've got 24 entrants. You're 24 or 20, 24 entrants and only one lady again, which is quite amazing. You're it. Where did it all start? From you back at home, your little girl, all that sort of stuff. What were you doing?
Well, I, grew up in the middle of the forest with three of my brothers. Uh, so I guess got pretty competitive from a young age, but grew up far away from sailing. So I never sailed. The first time I went sailing, I was 15 years old, but I had always had a dream about it. My uncle, he sailed across the Atlantic and had showed me these pictures, and I was like, wow, this sounds like this is the most amazing thing ever. One day I'm gonna do that. But it took some time before that happened. So yeah, it started with a little trip when I was 15 with my uncle to Greece, and all my expectations just it got fulfilled. Like, it was the most amazing thing. From the second I stepped on that boat, I knew, like, this is for me. But I still lived in the forest, so I didn't really get to sail a lot. I went maybe 1 week a year. I was trying to what is it called, like, to crew on random boats,
Yeah,
just trying to, like, find spots here and there. But it wasn't before the last 4 years that I've been
yeah,
sailing a lot, when I've been sailing around the world on sailing Ripple Effect. I was just like a few, yeah, I got my sailing licenses in Greece when I lived there, so I sailed once a week for 4 months. So that was kind of the most I've sailed before I went on this crazy journey.
yeah. So what did you used to do in winter at home? Because how dark did it used to get in winter? Like in terms of daylight, what did you get?
I think we had light from like 10 till 4 o'clock, something like that.
Yeah,
So it was just when you were at school, basically. That's when you had a light. But I love winter. I really love winter. So I enjoyed it a lot. We go cross country skiing, and in winter we also play handball a
yeah,
lot.
yeah.
So I was just yeah, living my
And
best
so
life.
you're a really out there type person. What about your parents? If you don't mind me asking, what did your mum and dad do? What did your dad do?
So they're both into forestry. They are both quite, like, into sports and into, yeah, just like being active, being outside, and they've always been very very supportive of all of me and my brothers into whatever we wanted to do. Like, all of my brothers have been on the national team in their sports. They've been to world
Really?
championships, European championships. Like, everyone's been pretty high up in what they want to do. And my parents were not. They've just been doing sports for their own amusement, but they've definitely always been active,
So, you,
being
so
entrepreneurs.
your brother's a high achiever as well. Like you're both, you know,
Yes,
reaching for the clouds sort of thing.
definitely,
Yeah,
definitely. We see something we want to do and we just do it. And I think that's something we learned from our parents, because if they saw an opportunity, like if it's in within business or something else, they're like, okay, let's try it, and then they went for it. So we thought that was their normal thing to do. We just went for it.
yeah, yeah. Okay, and I got a bit of your story because I bumped into you. In fact, I don't know what happened. I was following Ripple Effect. I found it along the way. I'm not a big sailing YouTube sort of groupie, but you check out different things. And we used to have a cat, and I think I stumbled upon Ripple Effect just after the Caribbean. I think after you'd gone through the Panama, and I came across it, and I saw you and the girls, and I thought, well, that's a cool angle. So the way I saw it, we've never discussed this. We've met a couple of times, but was that there was Doc on the boat, and he wanted to start some YouTube stuff and bits and pieces, and he'd invite sort of complete strangers onto the boat as a group and have them for a couple of months. Is that right?
Yeah, that is right. So he wanted to teach them to sail, to show them like how you can live in a different way. Like there's
Yeah,
a completely different world out there, and then at the same time, like try to give back a little bit more to the communities that you visit along the way, because we're we visit so many amazing places when we're
yeah,
sailing around the world. We go to places no one else gets to go to. So to be able to actually give something back and not just take pictures, take memories, it was a very special project.
Okay, and just for those that haven't seen it, give us a quick, brief rundown about the classic, your first one, when you were going to go with a guy on another boat. There was two other girls with you, and you decided it was either was a mutiny, but anyway, you just left them and got onto docks. Hey, pick us. There's three of us. We want to be there. Explain that.
Yeah, so basically, me and my friends, we've had this dream about sailing the Pacific, and it was COVID, so we were considering, should we buy a boat, should we go with someone else, and we decided to go with someone else just because everything was so uncertain at that time. So we went on this other boat, but on the journey from Florida to Panama, he realized that he doesn't really like offshore sailing. And so when we got through the Panama Canal, he was like, actually, I think I'm going to stay. So then we were kind of stuck
Hang on,
there.
hang on, hang on. I got to stick up for the guys here. Was it offshore sailing or was it three women on the boat?
He said sailing. We were great. We were pulling the
Okay.
weight on that boat, I am sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, he sadly got quite seasick, and it was not great. But
yeah,
after he had sailed the Pacific and made it to Australia, so he just needed some more time to adjust. So that was good.
yeah,
But yeah, then we were kind of stuck there, and we were like, what are we going to do now? Should we go home? Should we just travel South America, or should we try to find another boat? And that's when we reached out to Doc. We had met him in Panama. They were on the dock next to us, but we had gone through the canal. So I texted him being like, hey, can we go with you? And he's like, well, I need one. And I'm like, we're three. I'm like, I need one. Well, we're three. So then, things went a bit back and forth. But in the end, he's like, okay, you can come on the boat. It was him and another guy. It was a third guy, but then his wife wouldn't let him go on the boat with three Norwegian girls. So that
oh,
that fell through. So then it was, yeah, me, my two friends, Doc and Brian, who was one of the original crew members on that journey. But
yeah,
that's kind of where it all started, and it was supposed to just be going to French Polynesia and then we would go home, but
yeah.
kind of didn't end up like that. It was too good to give it up, so I did go home.
Absolutely. Jeepers, I
And
couldn't
then,
believe it.
yeah, I went home and I was like, this kind of doesn't feel the same anymore when having experienced that life. And then Doc was like, you can come back if you want to. And then I just,
I didn't realise that. So you went home and then you came. Okay. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, it's certainly cool because that's about when I first saw it. And it was quite a cool angle. There's some good stuff happening there. But had you ever heard of the Golden Globe at that stage? Had you ever
No,
seen? No?
not there. I think I heard about it in French Polynesia actually when we had arrived there, because we met this other guy who wanted to do the race. But
Yeah.
when he told me about it, I was like, well, that sounds crazy. Who want to do something like that? Like, no
Yeah.
flipping way. So that was kind of, that was it. And I was like, nope, don't think
Yeah.
about that anymore. And then we kept going.
So, so you carry on around the world and all the usual things happen, broken rudders and fun places and work and all that stuff. And then you going through the whole thing about any expedition or any journey, what's next when it's coming to the end. And so just tell us, feed us through that. And I should say Doc seems like a pretty interesting character as well. He's got his own backstory, but you're there now on the boat with other couple other girls, and something happened. What sort of brought it?
Yeah, exactly. No, so we were sailing around, and it kind of didn't. The project didn't have an end date, but
Yeah,
suddenly it did. Like suddenly it was like it's one more year and it's going to be over, and that made everything different. Like everything changed mentally, and I was like, well, what am I going to do now? And I probably got like a small existential crisis, and I'm like, but I can't stop sailing. I want to keep sailing, but I don't want to like just sail because this has been my dream project. I want to do something that is challenging me in new and different ways, some things that I can like, something I can work towards, and I can just like put all everything into. And that's when suddenly this idea of the Golden Globe just popped back into my head.
yeah.
And that time I couldn't shake it, and I just kept researching, and I'm like no, 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 you can't do that. And I'm like, but what if? And yeah, then I knew I
Right
was it was
through.
over.
You,
It was
you,
over.
you probably, I know exactly what you mean. When you're sailing, you got to have a secondary purpose. Otherwise, it's all just beach parties, barbecues, cups of
Yeah,
tea, come over for morning tea, all that stuff. But there's nothing there. I'm the same. When you're out there, you want to do other activities as well. So
yeah.
okay, so the GGR's coming into it. You've been filming it pretty intensely. It's going to make it a great, what we say, great story at the end when you can start from finish in an hour and a half or something. Um, but it's been interesting to watch. So you bit the bullet and jumped in, and I'm going to really. I hope I don't shock you with this, but it's part of your story, right? Even having a boat named Showgirl in the GGR, come on, you know. But I say it, you're a bit of a pink lady back then. You were on all over Instagram. It was all, you know, and dare I say it, it's a bit of an act under control. So that was your image and brand, and now you've sort of moved into the GGR. It's
Hmm.
changing, it's evolving, and so try and explain that. Give us a rundown of how and why that sort of happens.
Well, it's it's difficult to explain because when I started also my Instagram, I was very conscious that this is going to be toward for the GGR. Like I decided that for me to be able to make it, I need support and help from sponsors. So I would need to do something different than everyone else. So I decided to like do everything on social media, everything super visible, and I also wanted to make a platform where people could be a part of what I'm doing because so many people have a distant dream of doing something like this. Not a lot would actually do something like the GGR, but a lot, maybe
Yeah,
go for sale, or sail around the world, but differently. And I wanted to be that window into that world and show kind of the entire process, what it takes, and how I will change as a person, how my life changes through that entire process. Because going into something like this, things will change, and I just wanted to show the reality of that, both ups and downs. But for me as well, like something for me to just go and sail by myself without any other purpose, it feels like pointless.
yeah,
And by having social media, I am able to use that for like to show other people hope, like to yeah, hopefully inspire someone, but also just like to share it. It feels like it gives another purpose to it. But something I have experienced in my trip around the world is that just because I am a girl, I'm not being respected the same way as other people. Like when we were sailing around on Sailing Ripple Effect, and after I became the captain of the boat, no matter where we went, they always refer to Doc as the captain. They always look at him. They always, even though he's there
yeah,
saying like, "No, talk to her. She's the
yeah,
captain." They
yeah,
still talk to him. Like he has to go and hide, basically,
yeah.
and that's something that sucks. And it's something that I don't want other people to experience that. So that's also why I've kind of just like gone super pink. And I'm like,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if I'm wearing pink clothes. It doesn't matter if I am not a 60-year-old man. Like I can still do these things. And it's been an important part of my identity to kind of try to share that and to show that. And Yeah, it's been difficult at sometimes because there's a lot of people that are not very happy about.
Yeah, it's an interesting subject because I mean, dare I say it, even for me, I'm a guy, right? And a lot of the stuff that I've done, we're pushing boundaries all the time. We're doing what people say you can't do it, you shouldn't do it, and this, that, and the other. And so when it's thrown in your face, yeah, sometimes I'll do exactly the same. I'll go 150% that way just
Yeah,
to get it across. And
yeah,
so I know where you're coming from, and I got to say, my take on that whole pink issue is that it's a good brand in a way. It's a good brand for you because it's part of your evolution.
yeah,
But as you're showing now, there's more to it
yeah.
besides that. Like
No,
so.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
And I think because it's a shame that Olivia wouldn't make it to the start. It was really cool that we were two women at the start this time, and it's always a
I
shame that
know.
she didn't make it
We
because it's
were.
like we're making steps in the right direction. So that kind of that was bad. But now I'm like, now I have to represent. So
Yeah.
now,
Well, at one point we were going to have three. I won't bring up other names, but we had two, but we were going to get a third, a really good sailor, top sailor, and she was right there, but she had another opportunity, and she took
gotcha.
that. And I was freaking out, thinking, "Look, this will be fantastic. We got three
Yeah.
women," because I
Right.
like supporting women in sailing. We've done
Yeah.
little bits, and I was with another pink lady before. The real pink lady with Jessica and stuff. So it's kind of interesting. Anyway, back to sailing in the boat. You've got your so you decide to do the GGR. How much sleep were you losing at the time to make the decision or not make? Because I got the impression you decided that you should do it before you decided you would do it. You know what I mean? Like you could say, "Oh, this could work all right. I could do all that, but do I really want to do it?" That's the impression you gave me,
Oh,
and
really?
you more or less had to convince yourself that yes, I can do this because anyone can if they really want to,
Yeah.
and I should do it. So bugger it, I'm going to do it. That's hey, so try and explain that to me.
I think, yeah, it was like I was looking for something new,
Yeah,
and then I found this, and I really wanted to. I really, really wanted to, but I was doubting, like, is this something I can do? Do I have the experience it needs? Do I have what it takes to do this sort of thing? And I was just like trying to, yeah, read and learn everything about it, and I've realized I'm like, yeah, I can totally do this. It's more, it's about just getting the things done. It's about working under stress. It's a work like I'm just like doing the things, like show up and do the things. And I know that I can do that. But it was a difficult decision because it also affects other people around me. My parents did not sign up for this. It was me, but it's definitely affecting them
yeah,
and their well-being because they're going to be super worried. They're already super worried, and just that I kind of made that decision and now I can see the negative effects on them. Like that kind of sucks. But also the positive effects are so much bigger, and it is my dream and it is my choice. And my parents are also supporting me like 100%. They are backing me up as much as they can, but they wouldn't be sad if it suddenly got canceled.
yeah. That's life. Anyway, deep down, that's a mother being a mother. That's how it
Yeah,
works. Okay, so then you find yourself a really cool boat, right? And I'm a great fan of the Saga 36. I mean, we spoke about it, before you got there. It's a hot boat. They're. This goes back. I refer to Mark Slatz sometimes because he was the guy who came second in the 2018 GGR, and it was a real takeoff between John Luke and him. And he's a powerful sailor. I interviewed him after the race, and I'd already decided in my head that Saga 36 was a hot boat. And he says at the end, I asked him if you did it again, what would you do? And he said, I don't know whether I'd do it again, but if I did, I'd use Saga 36.
mm,
And then since then, they've been growing, and there's a bit. Well, Pat ended up with one and showed that it's a hot boat. What do you think about your boat now? Is there a relationship between you and your boat already? Or you know?
yeah. I love this boat so much. Every day I think like, yep, this is definitely the right boat for me. During my Atlantic crossing as well, like I feel so safe on the boat. I feel at home. I feel good. And for me, a race that is this long is a lot about just mental health. and to have a boat where I feel good has been like one of my priorities. When I was trying to pick, because I was looking at, a Rustler, I was looking at this, I was looking at a Biscay, and I was talking to Kirsten Neuschiffer as well, and her reasoning for picking a heavier, sturdier boat, it just, that made a lot of sense to me. Both because like a heavier boat, it feels safer, and if you're leaving not feeling safe, like then you're screwed.
Yeah.
But also you can add more things without it affecting the performance as much as if you add the same weight to a lighter boat.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I'm like, I am so happy with this boat, and I don't want another one. Like this is
Yeah.
the one. Yeah.
I get your. You just said something then about whatever, but anyway, you were a rower, a competitive rower in
Yeah.
teams rowing and stuff. Was it teams all the time, or was it a solo rowing
Uh,
as well?
it was both, but mostly
Right.
teams.
Okay, and so you're ultra competitive, but the GGR is all about it is a mind game. Above everything else, it's a mind game,
Yeah.
and you must have psyched yourself into all sorts of things as a competitive person, and that's the biggest element. And I can see you really. I say this with respect. You're confident, but you understand self-discipline through competition and training, and you've got that can-do attitude. So you have got a lot of the elements that are required, but you still just interested to know, do you ever get any imposter syndrome type feelings about the GGR? Like coming from the way you're moving into
Absolutely.
it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. It happens a lot, especially, when you start talking in the beginning, it was a lot. Like you start to talk to other people and you feel like they know absolutely everything and you don't know anything. And then, yeah, it comes over me like randomly. I'm just like, why, like, can I do this? What the crap am I doing? But I've also learned so much that most people don't know what they're doing, like to some extent, but you can do it anyway. And a lot of people, they talk very loudly and very confidently about all the things, and they're like, this is the way you do it, this is the only right way of doing it, and it seems like they know absolutely everything. My approach is always to, I have my way of doing it, but that doesn't mean it's the best ones. I'm always asking questions. I'm trying to learn, and then I'm kind of picking and choosing what I feel like makes sense for me in my boat. But that has definitely, it makes it seem like I know less, just because I'm asking more questions. And sometimes it feels like it because the other people don't ask questions. But then I actually realize that no, they just don't, it doesn't mean that they know it, it's just that they have found their way, or that they just, I don't know, don't need
Yeah,
to
yeah.
learn, don't want to learn anything more. But yeah, I'm trying to be very, very open and just learn as much as I can, because no one's ever fully learned when it comes to
You're,
sailing for anything really.
there's a few things there, and one of them is that my favourite line, and I get it all the time over the last 40, 50 years, is you can't do that. You've never done it before. How can you do that? And you just got to stop and think about it. Of course, I haven't done it before. That's why I want to do it. And
Yeah.
you don't have to have done it before to show that you can do it. You got to
No.
get started. So yeah, that's you're going to get more of that, and you're always learning. I'm still learning, jeepers. And there's always other ways. Every situation different. So anyway, part of the fun. Okay, so you've got your boat, and then you pop into this. Now I'm going to try and I might lose this. I'm going to try and drop in another screen here. Ooh, I got it, but it's a bit small. Just your live. This was pretty cool because we a bit of a long story. Ayrton Bescardis, who's in the GGR, he just signed on. He did the mini globe race, and he's a great fan of communication. He wanted to do a live on his 580 on the little 19-foot plywood boat going around the world. And in the end, he didn't, purely because it was lack of power. Just had little battery, little solar panels. But Starlink took off on the 580s. And so then late last year, we started to think about what are we going to do and how's it going to happen. But certain things are going on now, and you decided to pop up and do this live. And I'll just bounce through this very quickly. I just take screen grabs when I see you doing stuff. I forget what you're doing there. I think you're. But it was hugely successful, and you had the data box down the side. And the funniest part that I found whenever I'd go back and watch was the community on the side chatting. They just talking between themselves and creating their own world. There's a little bit there. I don't know whether you can see much of that. But it really was, just from your perspective, walk us through it. Everything that you did there, like from setting it up to actually doing it.
Yeah, so the idea came from talking when I was talking about the Atlantic crossing. So many people said, oh, "I wish I could do it," or they had done it at some point that they like wanted to relive that moment. They wanted to do it again, and I was like, "Well, why don't I just share this journey?" Because so many people have dreamt of crossing an ocean, but so few people actually do it. And if I can share this live 24/7, I can actually show, like, people can be a part of the journey. They can see what it actually takes. Because, when you watch YouTube videos or Instagram, it's all the highlights, or it's all the drama, or it's kind of just a little, it's trying to make a show, But so I was like, I'm going to show you the real deal. Like, I'm going to show you how much I'm just sitting on my butt, how much I'm napping, how, like, every little thing about it. And so this idea just started to grow, and then Doc has been helping me do the entire setup for it. So we had the Starlink, we had some DJI cameras around. We put up a surveillance camera in the back of the boat that had night vision, so we could see something at least at night. We're testing microphones. We were testing different programs, and then yeah, we made something that worked, and it was absolutely incredible. Like, of course, we had our hiccups and things broke down a bit, and didn't flow like perfectly all the way. But just to have the possibility to show that live, it was insane. And as you said, that community that grew, it was insane. I can see a lot of them are in the chat on this live here now as well.
Yeah,
Like,
you did
I
very
know
well.
all of these names, and they at nighttime, they set up shift schedules to keep an eye out in case something happened when I was sleeping. Even, of course, I have my stuff, and I
Yeah,
can't really rely on someone watching a live stream. But
it's a good
they
idea though.
right? And they're like taking a part of it. People kept it on while they were sleeping, and if it was a change in the wind, a change in the sound, they would wake up and like, what is happening?
Yeah,
And it just turned into this beautiful world where everyone just took a little break from the outside world, which can be a little bit of a negative place at the moment, and just came into our little cocoon of happiness, as we called it, and just were happy and enjoyed this journey and shared stories. And yeah, the community were just, even though, I went to sleep, or I put the camera outside because I wanted
yeah,
to
they're all
practice.
still with it and they're doing their own thing.
Exactly.
That's
And
great.
it's incredible. Like, it's more
Yeah,
than I could ever dreamt of. So it was absolutely beautiful, and I'm so so happy that we did that.
yeah. Well, any negatives to that? Like anything that was a downside?
I think not real. Like, the only thing is that sometimes you wish you could just like turn it completely off.
Yeah,
But in those moments, like, I just put them outside and I'm inside. Like, it's not a big problem
yeah,
at
yeah,
all.
yeah,
Yeah, the only bad thing is that I didn't practice properly for the GGR because I was always connected. But
yeah.
other than that,
Well,
I
well, in,
love.
in fact, Uku, who did the 2018 GGR, okay, he came third in that. He just put a question up on the thing, and the question goes along the lines of, do you think you're going to be able to cope with the isolation and the solitude where you can't actually talk to family and friends and other people and stuff during the GGRs on, because it does change the psyche. Are you,
Absolutely.
yeah, how do you feel about all that?
Yeah, I am very confident that that will be okay. Like, I'm not a person that need, like, one of my favorite things about crossing oceans normally is that you don't have internet and you totally disconnect, and you have an excuse to just like disconnect completely. And even though I've not spent this much time alone, obviously, who has, I enjoy being by myself. I'm in, like, back in Norway, I go into the forest for 2 weeks and hang out by myself, and I really enjoy it. So I don't think it's going to be a problem, but it's something that, of course, I've been thinking about, and I'm kind of taking steps to make sure that my mental health will be as good as possible, and I will be filming, of course, even though it's not going to be uploaded. And I think to talk out loud, even if it's just to the camera, is something that's going to keep me sane, because you hear it out. It's different
Yeah.
when you just have it inside your head, because in your head and
Yeah.
things, yeah, can be
Look,
a
I
bit.
mean, my take on this is I can tell you now you're going to hate parts of it, the
Oh,
isolation thing, because I can tell you now we've been intimately involved with all the GGR entrants, when they make their weekly callings out. Some of the entrants completely lost the plot, had
mm,
very serious psychological issues, and a lot of stuff wasn't made public, and that's normal. And how do
yeah,
you train and practice for 100 to 220 days or 250 days by yourself? You can't. You can't
no,
do a 250-day practice run. So you're right. You just got to adapt and you get
yeah,
over it. I found that with a lot of our adventures, even physically. You in Antarctica for a year, you get used to the temperature and stuff. You get out, you adapt, you go with it, and you're same with your headspace.
yeah,
So the issue is, do you want to do it? And I'm confident that you'll be fine because you want to do it. And every GGR entrant comes in for a different reason. They've
yeah.
all got their own personal reason. There's an overriding one which I finally discovered when I did the mini transat, that you're trying to prove something to yourself. I discovered after like 40 years of solid adventuring, and I don't need to do that anymore. I don't need to prove anything. So anyway, we digress. So what do you just into the GGR now? What do you see as your biggest challenge for the GGR? What and in the same context, what is the scariest part for you? So what's the biggest challenge and what's the scariest part do you think for the GGR?
I think a big challenge during the race would be like my water management. I love water. Like, I drink so much water, I use so much water, and I like to cook good food, which takes more water instead of just like having canned things. So I think that's going to be a big challenge, and I need to really just be ahead of that and really plan it out and make sure that I collect rainwater flipping every single time, and that I have enough water with me. But that's something that on this trip over here I didn't care about it. I was, but then I have this bow washing outlet on the bow, and it accidentally opened and all my fresh water poured out. And then I was like, well, screw this, water maker on. Let me just use all the water I want. So I didn't like properly practice it, but it's something that I'm like, I need to really control myself to make sure I will get through it, because if I run out, like, that's going to be terrible. Like, then it's over, it's I have to go.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. So flip the coin. What do you think will be the most exciting part about the GGR? The thing you're most looking forward to.
I am really excited about the sea life, all the marine life. Every time there's anything showing up, like, I'm just so happy. It's so great, and I think that in the Southern Ocean, I hopefully get to see some more cool things than what I have done until now. So that's going to be a lot of fun. But also, I am very excited for crossing that finish line and just like
Yeah,
being in
pretty
that
crazy.
moment where it's like you actually achieved your dream, which is also a scary part, because
Yeah,
then what, um,
yeah. So
but
okay, so you're obviously talking to other entrants, but have you spoken much? I know you spoke to Kirsten and a few others. Have you worked out a game plan yet? Do you think you've got an attitude of what your overall sailing plan is going to be in terms you're going to push really hard? Is it about winning? Is it about finishing? All that sort of stuff. Where do you sit?
So after my Atlantic crossing now, that was kind of a little eye opener in terms of exactly that, because before I've been, I am an athlete and I am competitive and I know I want to push. However, when I did the Atlantic crossing and I just came into my zone and I just started to like enjoy every day, I realized that, I'm probably not going to push that hard. And the reason for it is because I wanted to sleep at night. I didn't want to get up and do any changes. So I'm going to reef early. I'm going to make sure I have enough reefs in so I can sleep through the night. Every time I didn't do it, even though if the wind didn't pick up, I was thinking about it, I was nervous about it, and I didn't sleep well. And then the next day was just trash. So I'm like, okay, I need to prioritize sleeping as much as I can, and I sleep better if I'm sailing a bit more conservatively. And I also have like my mindset is very much, you can't, if you don't finish, you're not winning, at least. So my priority is to finish, and then If I feel like on the last finish leg that I want to start competing, then maybe I'll do it there. But before I'm back into the Atlantic and past Brazil, I am just surviving. I'm just
Okay,
gonna
I'll
make.
remind you of that when we're chatting as you're coming up the Atlantic after the Southern Ocean. And Pat Lawless and Mike Ritchie are probably breathing easy now because, dare I say it, when I first met Mara, I had to go, "Hello, Mara. You're a big lady." It's hard to tell, but I got to tell you, I don't know how tall you are, and I don't want to ask or things like that. But you're a powerful lady, right? You got a hot boat, and I bet once you got around Cape Horn, I bet you all of a sudden you'll become competitive, especially if Pat
Yeah,
Lawless is 2 days away. you know.
might be.
Anyway,
But yeah, I definitely, for now, I'm just thinking you gotta make it to the finish to even compete. So
yeah, absolutely. Listen, we got some interesting stuff here that we do. This is the first time I've done it on this edition. I'm going to throw some word associations at you, right? And you just tell us the first thing that comes to your head when I say the word, okay? You ready to
okay,
go?
yeah,
Yep, okay. Excitement.
sharks. I don't know what.
Drogue.
What do you say?
Drogue.
Oh, danger.
Mother.
I was just thinking, oh,
Okay.
not a word.
Family.
Yes, my favorite. I don't know.
Impossible.
Doesn't exist.
Books.
Many.
Risk.
Yes, bring it on.
Cold.
Don't like it.
Holidays.
All the time. My life.
Panic.
Don't no no don't I don't panic. It's not a part of my life.
Sleep.
Important.
Southern Ocean.
Respect.
Lucky.
Very.
Life.
Yes.
Dreams.
So many.
Loser.
Never heard of it.
Money.
I need it.
Fear.
Important.
Vendée Globe.
Nope.
Cape Horn.
That is scary.
Food.
A lot.
Hunger.
I am hungry right now.
Inspiration.
My grandma.
Bowline.
Her most important knot in the world.
Time.
Irrelevant.
Okay. All right. Well, that was cool. That was a bit interesting. Now, what you got to do? This gets seriously crazy now. I'm going to ask you a series of questions, but you got to pick the number, right? So it's every 10 digits. So you got to pick a number between 1 and 10.
Okay. Then I'll go for 7 because that's my birthday.
7. How would you like to make a living?
I would like to have a passive income through my investments, which then would allow me to work on my dream projects and put all my effort into that.
Just a sideline question. Do you think you're living the dream at the moment? Like, you know
Pretty
what I mean?
close. Yeah.
Yeah. Pick a number 11 to 20.
13. That's my boat number.
13. To date, what is the best thing you've ever done?
I think it was when I was in university and I got the opportunity to study abroad in Australia. And that's something I always wanted to do. But when the opportunity suddenly came, and I was like, oh, but it's so much work, it's so much effort, blah, 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 blah. It's so much easier to just stay at home and finish my degree. And I was like, no, flipping slap out of it and go on the exchange. And I did. And it was the most amazing thing I've ever done. Like, it just changed my life. But why that is so important is because then next time when I had an opportunity, it was so much easier for me to say yes. And then after that, it just got easier and easier and easier. So now every time there's something that I want to do, I just go for it and it go all in because it always works out great and I always have the best time.
Yeah, I was saying when you do things, things happen. What part of Australia did you go to?
Perth.
Perth. Okay. Yep, other side of the world. Number between 21 and 29.
29.
Where's bloody? Hang on a sec. 29. Okay. What do you do for fun?
Other than sailing, I love to play beach volleyball and what do I do for fun? Play instruments
Play
a
instruments.
lot. Yes, and hiking. I just like
Oh
love
yeah, I
to.
saw a lot of you singing. You were singing the bloody ukulele and doing all sorts of stuff.
Yes, so I wasn't allowed to play music because of copyright, so I had to like sing it myself.
Yeah.
And then I rewatched the live stream, and I'm like, wow, you should not have done that. You need to take some singing lessons. But
Yeah.
that's a real life. That's how it is here.
Yeah, everyone was going ballistic, and they'd throw you money. They'd throw you $5, $20, whatever. It
Yeah,
was quite funny.
yeah, that was
Yeah,
great.
yeah, that's cool. Okay, 31 to 40.
uh, 34.
34. Did your parents do a good job raising you?
Yes, an
Yeah,
amazing job.
that's a simple one. Why? Why?
Well, because they have always been very supportive in whatever we want to do. They don't force us into anything. If I pick something, they're like, "Okay, let's do it." But they're also being just being examples of how we can live our lives, like showing us that there's not that much limitations if you set your mind to it, and always being just helping out when we need it. But yeah, I feel like we turn out me and my brothers turn out to be decent human beings. So yeah.
Absolutely. Cool. 41 to 48. We finish at 48.
All right, then I'll do 47.
47. Oh boy, what a stupid question. Are you a leader or a follower?
Later.
Okay, well now we get really obscure, right? You got to pick a letter between A and N.
And then I'll pick H.
H. Another stupid question. Are you a hunter or a gatherer?
I am a hunter.
Uh,
And actually a hunter. My family are all
hunter.
hunters.
Okay.
For real.
So you talk about sleep patterns. What do you think your sleep pattern's going to do for the GGR? What are you going to do? You know.
So, I mean, it was also a little test now on the Atlantic how I react to different sleep. And I realized that, close to shore, I did 20 minutes at a time when there's things
Yeah.
around and I slept.
Yeah.
That kept me sane. I felt like I got enough sleep. And then I just like took some naps during the day if I felt like it. And then as I came more into the Atlantic and I didn't see any boats around, I was sleeping for 1 hour at a time, and then every hour I checked my AIS, and then
Yeah.
every 2 hours I had a look around, and that worked very well. Of course, it's going to be different because I'm not going to have an AIS and look at my little screen,
Yeah.
but I got very confident sleeping a lot very quickly. I thought it would take a lot longer for me to get used to just sleeping and letting the boat go. No,
Yeah.
I was just like, okay, this is fine, and I went to sleep. So I think in general, like when I'm in the Southern Ocean, if it's fine, I'm just gonna sleep until I'm woken up by something, and which I usually do. I usually wake up a couple of times during the night anyway. If something changes, if I hear something, so I think that's gonna be fine. And then close to shore is probably going to be something like 20 minutes at the time.
Yeah, some people will be shocked about all that, but I'm pretty
Yeah.
much the same. You do your own risk assessment at the time based on the
Yeah.
factors around you. And
Yeah.
when I did my solo circumnavigation, I had a 2 hour kitchen timer. And most of the time I wouldn't go past 2 hours because I couldn't anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, when you're getting tired, you can't afford to get too tired, and you just sleep.
Yeah. Exactly.
Go for it. But I slept. I didn't sleep for 20 days once, not at all. I didn't
What?
sleep at all for 20 days. Yeah, I slept at night time instead. So,
Is that?
yeah. So anyway, but yeah, there's a lot of some of the sailors, they say, I'm not going to. I slept all the way for the last 3 months doing 20 minutes, only 20 minutes at a time. It's like, what? Jeepers.
No.
Anyway, that's cool. So I mean, the start's not far away. It's about 4 months away or something, or 4.5 months. You got to be here. You got to be here like 3-4 weeks in ahead of time. How's your planning going? And you got your offsider coming back across the paddock again. She's with you as
Yeah,
well. It'll be fun.
yeah. So we will be sailing back across the Atlantic maybe next week. Like the next weather window, we will go, and the plan is to go to Les Sables d'Olonne. So I'll go there end of May, beginning of June, and do my final work on the boat there. So like the plan, which never works out, but I'm still going to try it, is to have everything done and ready by the end of June. So then when everything pops up, I have a couple of months to kind of fix that. And then I still have 2,000 nautical miles almost to sail solo, which I hope to do after do a few more changes on the boat, so I can test out all of those changes as well and make sure I like it, and kind of because I'm changing out the rig, for example, and I want to do a proper shakedown of the new rig. So that is kind of the plan, and it's not like a crazy amount left to do, but at the same time, it just needs to get done. And boat work always takes longer than expected, so I
Yeah.
need to get
You
my
you remind me of Jessica when we were trying to get the boat sorted. And we need to do a lot of stuff, and so I put some adverts in some magazines. Hey, 15-year-old girl want to sail around the world solo. We need some help, and we had about 25 people. All we ran a roster in the end. They moved to other states and worked for months on the boat. You could just have put it, hey, I need some help, and you'd get swamped.
love it, love it. I will do that.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so it's back to Europe again, and that's going to be live again, right?
Yes, it
Yeah,
will
yeah,
be. So that's going
yeah,
to be a different stream, different conditions. We're going to be two
yeah.
on the boats instead of one. Yeah, it's going to be.
So
It's season two.
how big's your team? Like Doc's there, and she's giving you a hand as well. She's got some responsibilities within the team and so on. Like how many
Yes.
people
So
have you
Gabby,
got?
she's the one that's gonna take over my social media in the race since I'm gonna be offline. So on this journey back now, she's gonna be filming everything, so that during the race she has a lot of footage that she can
Yeah,
post. And like if I'm in a storm, we will have some storm footage and she can use. Of course, it's not the real one because that will be available later, but at least we can kind of tell the story a little bit better.
yeah, yeah. That's pretty cool. How's your navigation? Did you get your?
Um, Yeah, I feel like it's pretty good. It's of course, I think the biggest part is just that I won't be able to double check my position compared to a GPS. Because
Yeah,
now every time I get I feel confident. I'm like, okay, I got it. It's good. But just to be a player, okay, I'm pretty close. Like it is quite nice to have that opportunity. So that's going to be weird, but I feel pretty confident in it.
yeah, yeah. That's cool. And what about the sponsor hunt? Anything happening?
It Not for like we're looking for a big sponsor. I find it like easier to find equipment sponsors and stuff like that. People want to be a part of it, but sadly, like t-shirts doesn't pay for a new rig, so
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
uh,
yeah,
it's not as easy. But we're confident. We're working hard on it.
yeah. That's all right. Okay, we've been nattering on. Anything you want to get across to your supporters or people or whatever it is? Anything else that you want to throw out there?
Well, I'm just really happy that people are following along, and yeah, that they're coming onto this live stream as well, just being a part of the journey. It's really really nice, and I'm so grateful for everyone that wants to be a part of it, and it keeps me very motivated to keep going. So I'm excited about it, and I hope to see everyone on the live stream back as well.
Yeah, who's your biggest competition in the fleet? Who are you worried about?
Uh, I think, I mean, I know Damien, he's there to win. So he is definitely going to be up front, but I'm not really. Everyone, for me now, everyone's just like a big family and we're trying to help each other out. And I think that's how it should be. And I don't know if things changes when the race starts, that everyone just like flicks, now it's a competition. But for me, yeah, as I said, like I'm not gonna race until the end, maybe, because
You will.
I,
You
yeah,
will.
yeah, maybe.
Did you use your HF radio at all? Your single sideband radio?
Turned it on and I'm like, well, I need to learn how to use this. So
Yeah.
not really. I've been trying to find someone that could come on the boat and like show me properly how to use it, but I haven't found anyone yet.
Yeah, the reason I ask is because that's the big window to all the other entrants.
Yeah,
If you don't suss out how to work your radio, not just twiddle the dials, but understand the HF, you miss out on a lot of conversations. Because
yeah,
talk about the GGR family as entrants, everyone links through that radio. So yeah, that's a big
yeah.
one.
No, I definitely want to make sure that radio is
Yeah, yeah.
as good as it possibly.
Okay. Well, listen, you're doing a great job. I like following you, what you're doing. I get it, So just keep at it. You're certainly pulling in a different demographic. What do you reckon your typical follower is? How would you describe your typical follower?
I mean, as a sailor, there's always a lot of old white men. Like that's just the classic.
31, by the way. Oh, your race number's 31, is it? Is your
uh,
race number 31?
13.
13. Oh, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, that's okay. Carry on. I'm just a 31-year-old guy. That's fine.
yeah, that's what it seems to be with all of them. But yeah, I definitely got more younger girls, especially than normal, and that's something that for me is very important as well. But also with the like people that just say like, "Oh, I'm showing it to my daughter," or things like that. Just it's very special.
Oh, yeah.
To me. So yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah. So keep a bit of pink there then,
yes, for sure.
All right. This is good to chat, and we'll be doing it a lot more. Especially when in the last few weeks before the start of the race, there'll be a lot of lives going on then. But it's very good, and I'll look forward to tuning in every now and then when you're heading back. Oh, we did actually chat a few times. I sent you some messages, asked questions. You saw them.
Yeah,
That was crazy, eh? You're out there, and the world's just the same. You got your phone; it's all linked. WhatsApp going crazy.
yeah.
But anyway, it was good fun. So well done. Okay. I was going to look. There's so many comments here. It's too hard to hang on. I'll have a quick look and see if anyone's asked a question. Or an interview. Thanks, Gabby. I wish there's no one going to. Mara, how are you at jury rigging? That was from Scott Greger. Did you do your jury rig trial yet?
I haven't done it yet. I'm doing it when I get back to Le Sable because we'll take the mast off for all their new rig and stuff.
Okay.
So I'll do it when I get back there. But so yeah, that's something I need to figure out.
Yeah, and what about because I saw you with an asymmetric up on the boat. Another question here from Wings. You had asymmetric up on the way back.
Yeah, stemmer. That was Norwegian. That is correct. I had an asymmetrical. I should have had a symmetrical on this trip, but I didn't have it yet. So I didn't get to run the spinnaker a lot, but getting one.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I'm just looking at this. Never find down there. A lot of people just commenting on how good to you don't. You don't know panic, yeah. So just commenting on your question here. No, there's too many comments to pick question. I have great love for ocean. I wonder if more would. Oh no, it's your mates talking between themselves again.
Right? They're great.
Yeah, it's very funny. Okay, all right. Well, I reckon that's it. So yeah, thanks for coming in. Good luck with your preparations before you go, eh? And say good day to Gabby. She's going to be integral to what's going on, so she's going to enjoy it. I'm not going to say anything about her future intentions. But hopefully we'll have lots of girls in the 2030 GGR. That'd be cool.
Yes.
So, yeah. All right. Thanks, Mara. I'm going to try and put a graphic up here and see if it works. Then I can shut down. So
all right.
It'll be the 3. Oh no, it worked. We're all gone. Hang on. Yeah, no, I pressed the right button, but it means you can't hear me. So I had to turn it off. Okay, we're gone. Thank you, Mara. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
We'll see you over here soon.
All right, perfect.
See you later.
See ya.
See what happens? Now I press the button and it didn't work. So I'll go back the other way. Anyway, we're going to go. I'm going to shut it down. See ya. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. And we'll be on again soon with the... Now, this is a funny one. Hear that alarm? I'm supposed to move every hour. This is for the ROR. Now, we didn't mention the fact that you're a rower and the Real Ocean Row, which is another event we just started, I'm going to do it. I'm going to row across the Atlantic, you see. And that was my reminder to row. But anyway, see ya. I'm out of here.
All right, bye.